Free Britney. Now, when I say that, do you think of the 2000s movement to leave Britney alone? Or do you think of the conservatorship? Or do you think of a 6'9" black and openly queer basketball player who was on her way out of Russia when she was arrested? Arrested for allegedly carrying vape pens. Weed. Someone who repeatedly returned to the region to play basketball for more than 3 years. And who managed to get got while Russia was trying to invade Ukraine? I'd like to take this moment to remind you that people have power. The power of the people. Because the people freed the white Britney. And now it's time to free the black.
As a basketball player who is black, woman, and queer, all of the things that Putin absolutely despises. So the charges that they're trying to hit her with is to distribute. We're not going for the bullshit.
All right, guys, so things are getting worse for WNBA star Brittney Griner, who was arrested in Russia for basically drug trafficking, as she thought it was a good idea to bring vape pens, vape cartridges, THC cartridges into Russia, a foreign country, right? And during a time like this, which, you know, Russia and the U.S. aren't necessarily on the same page, okay? We don't necessarily have great relations. Russia wasn't having it, okay? As they took it as an opportunity to go ahead and detain the WNBA star in their country. And now it looks like things are getting even worse for Brittney, as Russia doesn't seem to be interested in letting her out of jail anytime soon. And that has sparked a whole lot of interesting conversations around this subject that I want to talk about. But before I get into that, I just want to let you guys know, if you like my channel, you like my commentary, you want to support my channel, you can do so using the links in the description below. You support the Patreon, you support the PayPal, you support the merch. There are multiple ways to support the channel if you would like to do so, including getting yourself one of my signature racist mugs, which is a daily reminder of the 2022 definition of racist according to the left, which is anybody who disagrees with the Democrat Party. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into a news clip about the latest on the Brittney Griner situation going on in Russia. Take a look.
Breaking news in the arrest of WNBA star Brittney Griner in Russia. CNN's Brian Todd is working the story for us. Brian, what are you learning?
Well, Wolf, just a few minutes ago, a State Department official told CNN that the department is insisting that the Russians give consular access to Brittney Griner. We have new information tonight on the conditions Griner is facing and on the possible length of her detention. Her whereabouts inside Russia are unclear, and tonight it appears American basketball star Brittney Griner will be held by Vladimir Putin's regime for at least 2 more months. A court in Moscow has extended Griner's arrest until May 19th, according to the Russian state news agency TASS. We asked a former top U.S. official about the chances of Griner actually being released that day.
Yeah, I'm afraid that on May 19th, they'll issue another delay. Maybe they'll have her appear if they want to make a bigger deal out of it, and get the media to take some pictures and elevate this issue farther. Clearly, it's not in the interest of her loved ones to have this elevated, but this is how the Russians operate.
Griner's been in custody since being arrested after her arrival at a Moscow airport a few days before the war in Ukraine began. Russian authorities say she had cannabis oil in her luggage, discovered by a canine team. They've accused Griner of smuggling significant amounts of narcotic substances, punishable by up to 10 years in prison. TASS cites a Russian prisoner advocate as saying Griner shares a cell with 2 other women, and that at 6'9", her bed is too short for her.
Yeah, so as you can see there, Russia's like, you know what? We're going to actually extend the time that you're going to be in here, right? Your detention. And we're serious about this, okay? We're not letting you out. Now, again, this has sparked some interesting conversations in the media about this, as for whatever reason people think that this is an important story, this is an important issue, just because this person is a WNBA star. And of course, you know that we're gonna get cries of racism / sexism, and people making the argument that people don't care enough about this simply because she's black and gay.
And I completely agree with both Jason and Malcolm that Brittney is now a pawn in this theater. And I'm sure that this is not something that she had on her bingo card to become a massive player in this war, because now she has, and it's no coincidence that this is a Black woman. The way that women are treated in Russia, and the fact that we have a Black woman, the way in which Russia has engaged with disinformation, particularly in the Black community, to dissuade us from supporting our own government, this is going to be a very interesting situation, and I am praying for her and her family.
Norms of society here in the United States and our culture. All right, let's start off with the NBA player first and foremost. How are NBA players viewed or given the exposure over their WNBA counterparts when it comes to male sports versus women's sports? We're always talking about equity when it comes to pay. We're also talking about equity when it comes to exposure as well. If it were a WNBA, what's a WNBA player? But if it were an NBA player, say, once again, she is basically, you can say, it's not a stretch, the LeBron James of the WNBA. She's that good. She's one of the greatest WNBA and women's basketball players of all time. Yeah, I think the LeBron James would get a lot more play over here in the United States. There would be a lot more sports fans who would be outraged. They'd be, throwing out the hashtags free Brittney or free LeBron if it were in that situation, obviously. I also think, yes, and you look at the norms of society over here when it comes to a Black woman going missing and a white woman going missing. Once again, we see how the media coverage reacts to a white woman going missing. We talked about this time and time again. So no, I don't think you're saying anything that's outrageous. I don't think you're saying anything that's controversial, because these are some of the things that people have brought up before. And I'll take it a step further. Had she not been a Black gay woman, I think, yeah, she would have still gotten a little bit more play.
I was really disappointed. I hope something could be resolved out of court.
Debbie Jackson coached Griner 4 years at Nimitz High School in Aldine ISD. She's skeptical of information from the Russian government and aware of that country's record detaining other non-citizens.
Brittney being gay, I'm fearful that that will be used against her. The longer it strings out, the more doubtful I am that this is going to be resolved quickly.
Yeah, so don't you just love it how the Black and gay card is being played here on both sides, right? America is, racist and sexist because they don't care enough about Brittney Griner, versus how America would care if it was some other athlete that was a male and not Black, right? That's what some of the arguments have been made here. I've heard arguments of people saying that if this was Tom Brady, America would be up in arms about it, right? And then you also have arguments about how, well, she's been treated unfairly in Russia, not because she broke the laws there, right? But because Putin is a bigot, right? Putin is a sexist, racist, and she's Black and gay. Putin hates the Black gays, right? He hates the Black gays. So on both sides of the aisle here, it's about racism and sexism, not about personal responsibility. And that's ultimately the reason why I don't really think that people should care all that much about this stuff. Outside the fact that, yes, she is an American being detained in Russia, and I do think that the government should try to get her out. But is it one of those things where we should extend a significant amount of resources and time trying to do? No, because at the end of the day, she broke the law in another country, right? What are we supposed to do like that? She was legally arrested and detained for laws that she broke over there. Okay, I find it amazing how none of these people ever bring that up in this conversation. The conversation is about everything except what she actually did, okay, which is smuggle drugs into a foreign country. Okay, when you do that, you take the risk that you will be caught. And if you are caught, then you're subject to whatever laws and punishment that that country has for the crime that you committed. It is what it is. Same thing would happen if a Russian citizen was in the U.S. Okay, if they break laws here in this country, you're going to be subject to the punishment that the U.S. Has for that crime, right? It is what it is, okay? And if Putin was such a racist, sexist bigot, and they didn't like gays and Black people and women, why is she over there in the first place? Why is he allowing her to come over there and play and make millions of dollars over there, right? More money than she's making in the WNBA. Again, I find that fascinating. How these people, again, they're worried about the racism and sexism in Russia, but they weren't worried about that when she was over there playing for millions of dollars. Okay? And again, I find that fascinating. But with that being said, I don't necessarily care as much because again, this is something that happened because of her own choices, her own personal choices. Okay, like if this happened to LeBron, I would say the same thing. Or Tom Brady, I would say the same thing. Like, yeah, it sucks for them. Yes, the American government should definitely try to work to get them out. Again, they shouldn't extend a significant amount of resources, but I'm not gonna say and be up in arms over it because again, they broke the law, right? They broke the law in another country. Okay, this is how it works. Try to smuggle alcohol into Saudi Arabia and see what happens, right? Or Dubai, or any of these other places that, you know, are run by the Arab Emirates, right? These are Islamic countries. They might actually try to chop your hands off, okay? I'm so serious. That's not even an exaggeration. They might actually try to do that because that is the laws there in that country, and we can't dictate their laws, right? And it's funny how these people, they feel so bad for Brittney, but when Brittney was over here in the United States, she didn't like America all that much, right? She thought that the Star Spangled Banner and the national anthem didn't belong in the WNBA, okay? It had no place in WNBA, okay? She had contempt for America. So she's over there playing in another country in which, you know, I'll argue she's happier because America is such a terrible place, right? But now all of a sudden she's not in America, the place that these people that want her back here so much claim is so evil and so bad. It's a crisis. It's an existential crisis, okay? It's an injustice, right? Again, these people are quickly realizing how great it is to actually be an American, okay? And it's sad that situations like this have to show people this stuff. Also, on top of that, don't they wish Trump was president? Because allegedly, when Trump was in office, now this according to Trump, you know, he helped get ASAP Rocky out of a kerfuffle that he had going on in some European country. Okay, he also claimed that he helped LeAngelo Ball in his situation with China, right? When he was over there acting up, right? So on 2 occasions, Trump helped out some black superstars, right? Famous black folks resolve their situations. Now, the people that were involved in those situations, they initially thanked Trump, but then, you know, once the wokes was like, oh, you thanking Trump, you giving Trump credit, they backed off on it. You know, once they actually was back in the U.S. Again, show you how grateful some of these people are for help. But I'm just saying, allegedly Trump helped out. Okay, and if Trump was still president, I doubt that Griner would be detained right by now, because I definitely think there's political motivations to this, more so than her being black or gay, right? Which is what the wokes are claiming. No. There's a political aspect to this, obviously, but I don't think we would be in this situation if Trump was president. So again, the country that these people don't appreciate and the president that these people don't appreciate, they need the most right now to save somebody who, because of the fact that she's kneeled for the national anthem, she wanted the anthem banned, that, hey, she don't necessarily like this country that much. You want to get somebody who doesn't like this country that much back to the country that she don't like that much, right? Again, ain't it funny how that works? Ain't it funny how that works, right? But again, like the whole Juicy Smollett thing, this is just another example of how these people don't believe that anybody that belongs to a certain group of people that they see as victimized deserves any consequences for their actions. Nothing is their fault, right? And if it is their fault, they should just get out of jail free card. And, you know, it is what it is, right? That's what they believe. But hey, unfortunately, it doesn't work like that in Russia, even though it does work like that in America in 2022, evidenced by what happened with Juicy. But hey, you know, America is so evil, right, according to these people. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a black conservative perspective. Peace.